Later on, there's lots to talk about, and joining me here today in the studio is Diego Lorin. Diego, excited about this eventful Thursday afternoon?
Very eventful. Like you said, it's jam-packed. Well, we got the Champions League draw, then La Liga gets back into action in the Celta Barça. That's always interesting, but all eyes now set, of course, on this Champions League draw and seeing who we're going to face.
We'll have plenty of time to talk about the game against Celta, but let's focus on this Champions League draw. We're going to know who we're going to face in the group stage. It's going to be a bit different than other years because we used to be in pot one with the 8 best teams in Europe. Unfortunately, because of what happened in August, and we don't want to talk too much about that, we're going to be in pot 2. So we will potentially have a very strong team in our group.
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, when you're looking at the groups as well, they're filled with strong teams. So whether it's pot 1, pot 2, we've seen as well in the past that that doesn't really necessarily determine the outcome of the champion. So we're going to be hopeful. We're going to be, of course, feeling optimistic of our chances as well because, I mean, let's face it, Barça's got a rejuvenated squad that have started the preseason and the season very well.
Shall we take a look at the pots?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's get them on screen. Let's start with pot 1. Where we unfortunately are not. We've got the reigning champions, Bayern Munich, reigning champions of the Europa League, Sevilla,
also
Real Madrid, Liverpool, Juventus, PSG, Zenit St. Petersburg, and Porto.
Exactly. I mean, in pot 1, of course, is made up of the champions of the highest ranking UEFA leagues and, of course, the champions of the Champions League and the Europa League.
And let's remind the fans that we cannot face Sevilla and Real Madrid because you can't face teams from your own country early on in the Champions League.
Exactly, Robert. Exactly. And, well, as you can see, I mean, what is there to say about these teams? This is the best of the best.
We'll be talking about them. We'll be talking about them because, well, I want to know who the fans want to avoid. Let's go and see pot 2 where Barça is. Some good teams in pot 2 as well. Some good teams we'll be avoiding because obviously we cannot be drawn against teams from the same pot. So we've got Barça, Atletico De Madrid, Manchester City, Manchester United, Shakhtar Donetsk, Borussia Dortmund, Chelsea and Ajax. I am quite happy that we will not face Manchester City or Chelsea, a very rejuvenated Chelsea. We've made some good signings as well. Manchester United as well.
Absolutely. As well as the likes of, well, Borussia Dortmund for the manner, always a lethal team. We faced them last year as well. The likes of Ajax, a friendly club, especially during these days.
Especially today. We'll be talking about that as well. Let's move on to pot 3 because there are some interesting teams in pot 3 as well. We have Dynamo Kiev, Salzburg, Leipzig, Inter Milan, Olympiakos, Lazio, Lokomotiv Krasnodar and Atalanta. 3 Italian teams in that pot. We know Inter, we faced them in the last 2 group stages.
Yes.
So potentially we want to avoid them.
We want to avoid them. I personally would like to avoid Atalanta as well. Again, this season they've started off with a bang. I was going over the stats before. I think in the last 5 games they scored up close to 20 goals.
And they very nearly made it into the Champions League semi-finals last season. That was a coin flip.
And then look at Leipzig. We don't need to ask the Colchoneros just how good Leipzig is.
Exactly. Let's move on to pot 4. Because some of these teams just made it into the Champions League yesterday with the qualifiers. We've got Lokomotiv Moscow, we've got Olympique Marseille, Bruges, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Istanbul, Midtjylland, which I apologize if I haven't pronounced correctly. They're from Denmark. We've got Rennes from France and Ferencváros from Hungary. This is obviously the team or the pot where the weakest links in the group might come, but you never know. There are always surprises.
There are always surprises. They're those teams that are uncomfortable to go to. Usually you have to travel to distant and cold territory, right?
Yeah.
Or places where the, where in not before pandemic times, say the environment, the atmosphere in the stadiums were very hostile. You're thinking of your, Olympique de Marseille, for example. Obviously, we don't have to factor in really the fan factor because that is a non-factor these days. But still, very, very tricky teams. Let's
very tricky. No, exactly. Very tricky teams. If they've made it into the Champions League, usually they'll be tricky. I mean, there are sometimes big wins. There are sometimes teams that just. Well, the competition's too big for them. Yeah. Sometimes there are surprises as well.
Exactly.
We have to see. Shall we ask the fans to vote on our live chat? Who do you think we're going to get? What do you think the group is going to be? And who do you want to avoid? That's especially in pot 1. There are some strong teams. We're talking about them now. Shall we do the predictions first, Diego?
Okay.
We'll do predictions first.
Yeah.
and then we'll go to see who we want to avoid. Predictions, Diego. What have you chosen?
So I've predicted not the easiest of groups, Robert. I'm going to be quite upfront here. I predicted that we're going to be grouped with Paris Saint-Germain, Leipzig, and the club from Belgium, Brugge, which is, again, a team that, well, they made life very difficult for Real Madrid last season. A very good team domestically and also internationally. They've caused some waves, let's say. So I have a feeling we're going to be facing some tough competition. I do.
Well, Club Brugge is the team against who Iniesta made his debut, so that always brings back good memories. Paris Saint-Germain, I think the last time we faced them, we have some happy memories from that.
Yeah.
Leipzig, we've never...
Not yet.
We've never faced. My prediction, I am going for revenge. Liverpool from pot 1.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going with the Germans.
No. We still need some time to digest that one. I think the Liverpool one has been digested already.
Okay.
So time for revenge. I vote for Liverpool, Lazio, a very interesting team as well.
Yeah.
Always good to face Italian teams.
They just lost last night against Atalanta, actually.
Yeah, but they had a very good season last season. And Borussia Mönchengladbach, special game for ter Stegen. He already went back once in the 2016-2017 season, and we'd like to see him going back to his home.
I like that group.
I like it when you've got the feeling that it's Champions League games.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it's the occasion, right? The grand occasion. You've got the Champions League anthem playing at the start, the beautiful stadiums, and yeah, I mean, I would fancy our chances in that group for sure.
Cool. Let's talk about teams to avoid, Diego, because we can have a look at pot 1 again without the badges of Sevilla and Real Madrid. They're the two teams that we will not be facing because they're from our same league.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We will not be facing them definitely, but Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Juve, Paris Saint-Germain, and then Zenit and Porto.
Yeah.
Probably the two weaker teams out of that pot. So the fans, I assume, will be happy if we get either Zenit or Porto.
Those will be the ones.
But I want to ask the fans to send in their comments on the live chat and say, who do you want to avoid? Would it be Bayern? Would it be Liverpool? Would it be Juve with Cristiano Ronaldo and Artur, for example? Or Paris Saint-Germain, Neymar, Mbappe? I mean, very strong teams that we can be facing in this group stage.
No doubt about it. I mean, obviously the big one here to avoid would be the German giants, the winners of the triplete, right? Their own three-pit, and on their way to winning potentially another trophy as well, equaling that of the feat of Guardiola with his Barça, of course, the sextete. So that would be the big obvious one to avoid.
No, and I mean, we have some negative history against these teams, but we also have some positive. Positive memories as well. We've got some goals that we have scored against these teams. Bayern Munich, for example, we won that semi-final in 2015 with Lionel Messi making Boateng drop to the ground.
Yeah.
We've got happy memories against Juve as well. We faced them in the group stage a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
We have, well, I mean,
we were
one step away with Liverpool with that Lionel Messi free kick, and
that was
what
very
happened at
close,
Anfield.
of course. Yeah, I mean, Juventus, I think, would be a good draw. I think it's a strong team, but again, a team that we have better memories of than bad memories. A couple of weeks ago, when I got the chance to speak to Pjanic about his time at Juventus, or the times that he had faced Barça, he spoke about, of course, the one time that he did manage to beat Barça with Juventus, and the other times there were losses and draws. So I think Juventus would be a good pick.
Those are the happy memories we were talking about against Bayern Munich. This is against Liverpool a couple of seasons back. I only picked the goals from Camp Nou to talk about Liverpool because, well, we've proved that we can beat them. It's just that they beat us harder in the return game. But, I mean, it'd be exciting to see Barca be able to get that little bit of revenge if we did get Liverpool.
Yeah, no, it would. And I mean, it's, you know, Liverpool that year were particularly motivated, particularly strong. I'm not saying that you know, they've dipped in quality at all, but I mean, we're already seeing at the start of the Premier League season that well, you know,
Yeah.
They're facing strong competitions. It's always the difficult thing is to repeat success, isn't it? And I think, in the case of Liverpool, we're going to see this season if they'll be able to match that success that they showed in previous seasons.
Yeah, those were goals against Juve and obviously happy memories against PSG as well.
Yeah. It'll be a pretty remarkable return, of course, for Neymar to the Camp Nou.
Yes, well, he hasn't returned yet, has he?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that one would be an exciting one as well. Obviously, that Sergio Roberto moment always printed in our minds.
The best comeback in Champions League history, Robert?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah. And I think you'll like the following goal that I picked to talk about possible opponents.
Here we go.
Our current coach, Ronald Koeman, against Porto. That was 1994 in the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. What a rocket by Ronald Koeman. And let's hope that he can have success as well this season in the Champions League now as a Barça coach. I think we've got a replay of that goal coming up. It was just sensational. It was one of the best goals he ever scored for Football Club Barcelona. There it is.
Cracker. I mean, just beyond the halfway line, spots the opportunity, lets it rip. And I mean, we all know about, of course, his lethal shot from outside the box.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we've got the group stage draw for the Champions League. We also have some awards being given out.
Right.
And we have nominees with the women's team who went through to the semi-finals last season, fell to Wolfsburg, unfortunately, in a game which they should have won because they had the opportunities to. Unfortunately, they didn't make it through to the final, but we do have some nominees, and one of them is our coach, Luis Cortés. He could win the award for Best Manager of the Year. We've got some stats of Luis Cortés. Oh, wait a minute. No, there he is coaching the women's team, who, once again this season, will be fighting for everything. They'll be fighting for La Liga. They'll be fighting to get that win that they are very much desiring in the Champions League.
Of course, and I mean, they got so close last season as well. Unfortunately, they fell to the hands of Wolfsburg, but I mean, Wolfsburg, a very strong team that, of course, had a lot more game rhythm as well. Let's not forget that the pandemic didn't allow the Spanish teams and Barça, of course, to continue to keep up their match fitness because we were confined, whereas the other teams were allowed to practice outdoors, and that was a big hindrance. And despite that, they still just managed to lose by the smallest of margin. I mean, that 1-0 loss didn't really show or dictate the way the game actually went.
Yeah, Luis Cortés, he was appointed manager last season. He got to the final. This season he got to the semi-finals. These are his stats in last season's Champions League. Luis Cortés, he had 6 matches with Football Club Barcelona, of course, 5 wins, 1 defeat. That was against Wolfsburg. The team scored 13 goals. They conceded 3. One of them was the dagger that kept him out of the final. And, of course, he's been at the club for 2 seasons. Just 34 years of age, Luis Cortés. And he's doing very well ahead of the women's team, who also have 4 nominees for Best Player of the Year. We have Caroline Graham-Hansen, Jennifer Hermoso, Sandra Paños, and Keira Hamraoui. Keira Hamraoui was the player who scored the goal in the quarterfinal win against Atletico Madrid. 4 sensational players. And, Diego, you were telling me before the show, we could probably have a couple more amongst the list of 23 candidates for Best Player in the world. Yeah,
in particular, I think the case of Alexia, I mean, that was really the one that was causing a lot of storm amongst fans that couldn't understand why she wasn't selected to be nominated for this prize.
Yeah. I would say Oshoala as well, because she's the starting striker for the team. She scored important goals, and she's absolutely amazing. I mean, you see her outpower defenders, you see her making runs, quality finishes. I would have thought that she would have made the list of 23 candidates to become Best Player in the world.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, this season in particular, seeing as she is, we're from the same country, crossing my fingers that we see in the future Lieke Martens as well be nominated once again and be back on that list.
Definitely, definitely. We do have some quality players. We're going to be fighting for everything with the women's team, as we are as well with the men's team. We have to say, obviously, that Luis Cortés is in the top 3. Our 4 candidates are in the top 23, and I would say maybe slim chances since they didn't make the final.
Yeah. I mean, slim. You know, you're looking at the teams like Lyon. I mean, they make up half of that list or something. They've got a very, very strong team, and you would suspect, of course, that the winner will come from Lyon or Wolfsburg potentially. Yeah.
Before we move on to more news, Sunday. Clásico in the
That's right.
in the women's La Liga.
Of course. I mean, and the first Clásico for that matter. It'll be a grand occasion. I mean, what a great way to celebrate, of course, the return of, or I should say, the start of another massive rivalry between the two female teams.
Yeah, exactly, because Real Madrid didn't have a team up until now, or they had a team, but it wasn't officially Real Madrid.
Yeah.
The team they had was Tacón. We beat them 9-0 last season, so let's hope we can repeat that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, exciting stuff on Sunday.
Yes.
We've got more news while we wait for the draw to start. We have a new addition to the team, Diego. Serginho Dest. He arrived today. It was made official today. Right fullback from Ajax. Very young. Very promising.
Very promising. I mean, you're talking about another kid, 19 years old. It's amazing just how young these kids are. Another teenager, but I mean, he's caused storm over at Ajax. Just one year, the one season he had with the first team, convinced Koeman to also try to still persuade him to form part of the Dutch national team. Of course, chose for the American national side, seeing as he has dual citizenship, dual nationality. But I mean, he had a great season with Ajax. He's very quick. He's also agile with the ball. He can dribble past pretty much anybody.
He's already undergone his first training session here at Football Club Barcelona. There's some footage.
Well, that's great to see. And of course, I mean, we also have to highlight that he is a genuine Barça fan. I mean, we've seen him several times show up on social media wearing Barça shirts or the warm-ups. So, and in fact, why not say he preferred to come to Barça over Bayern as well?
Fantastic news for Ronald Koeman as well, as he gets a new addition to the team. The departure of Nelson Semedo left only Sergi Roberto in that right full-back position.
Right.
And now we have Serginho Dest. Diego, official presentation tomorrow, and we'll be having an exclusive interview on Barça TV+. And I think you're involved with that.
Yes. So I'm going to have, again, the pleasure to be talking to one of the newcomers, Serginho Dest. That welcome will be airing on Barça TV+ very soon. So make sure you tune in. And, I mean, he's a very lovely kid, and I can't wait to get a chance to sit down here and talk with him. So make sure you tune in for that.
Diego, you'll get the privilege to talk to him either tomorrow or next week. I'm not sure when that's happening, here in the studio.
That's right.
On Barca Live, we'll have him tonight. In the preview of the game against Celta de Vigo, we'll be talking to Serginho Dest,
awesome.
the newest edition of Football Club Barcelona. Tune in at 8:30 local time. We'll be talking to Serginho Dest and all the information, of course, of the game against Celta de Vigo, Barca's second game in La Liga. Diego, I've prepared a few questions. So I'm going to ask them to the fans, but you write down your answers.
Okay.
And then at the end of the trivia, you tell me how many.
Time, is it?
Trivia time.
Okay,
You'll tell me how many you would have gotten right.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to be honest. I forgot to write them down, so I'm going to have to read them off the screen. So I'm just being genuine here. I mean, that is what is going to happen because I forgot to write them down.
It's live TV, Robert.
Yes. Diego and the fans. How many consecutive seasons, or for how many consecutive seasons, has Barca qualified from the group stage as first in the group? Is it A, 10? B, 13, or C, 15? How many times has Barca qualified as first in the group from the group stage? Is it A, 10 times, 10 consecutive times, B, 13 consecutive times, or C, 15? Shall we reveal the answer for the fans? Shall we give them a few more seconds to vote on the live chat? Oh, it's B, 13. You got it? You got it?
Zoom in on that. B.
Okay. Okay, we'll go back to you at the end, Diego. Okay, can we get question 2, please? Question 2 is, which teams has Barca faced the most in Champions League group stages since 1993 when the Champions League was created? Is it A, Celtic and Milan? Is it B, Sporting Portugal and Inter? Or C, Chelsea and Olympic Lyon? There's a tie between two teams.
Okay.
Is it A, Celtic and Milan? Is it B, Sporting and Inter, or C, Chelsea and Olympic Lyon? This is teams that Barca has faced the most in the UEFA Champions League group stage.
Group stages, of course.
Group stages.
Right,
Not in the whole of Champions League, it's in group stages.
Okay.
We're going to reveal the answer, Diego. The answer is C,
I knew it.
Celtic and Milan. 4 times each. 4 times each.
A and C, okay.
4 times each. Question number 3. Get it on screen. There it is. Who is Barca's youngest player to ever score in UEFA Champions League group stage, in the group stage? Is it A, Leo Messi? Is it B, Ansu Fati? Or C, Bojan Krkic? This is the youngest player to ever score in a Champions League group stage for Barca. Is it A, Lionel Messi? B, Ansu Fati? C, Bojan Krkic? Leave your answers on the live chat. We're going to reveal it in 3, 2, 1. It is Ansu Fati. You got it right?
I did get it right.
You got it right. All right. Move on to question number 4. The oldest Barca player to ever play in a UEFA Champions League group stage. Is it A, Carles Puyol, B, Xavi Hernandez, or C, José Manuel Pinto?
Pinto.
The oldest player to ever play in a UEFA Champions League group stage for Barca. A, Carles Puyol, B, Xavi Hernandez, or C, José Manuel Pinto. The answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pinto. You got that one right? So you've got 3 out of 4 so far.
So far, 3 out of 4. I'm on a good.
All right.
I'm on
So
a roll
the
here.
last question is, what is Barca's biggest win ever in a UEFA Champions League group stage? Is it A, 6-0, B, 7-0, or C, 8-0? In a UEFA Champions League group stage, leave your votes on the live chat. What was the biggest win ever? Is it A, 6-0, B, 7-0, or C, 8-0? Have you got your answer, Diego?
I do. I'm going to go with A.
You're going to go with A, 6-0? I'm going to tell you you're wrong, and we're going to reveal the answer now. It is B, 7-0.
Against?
Celtic in
Wow.
2016-2017. An Iniesta volley, Suarez scored, Neymar scored.
Yeah.
It was the season of the 6-1 against
Of course,
PSG.
I remember the game got chippy between Neymar and I forget who.
I can't remember. I remember the chippiness, but I can't remember the.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact opponent. Anyway, while we wait for the draw to begin, I mean, we've got everyone lined up, so it seems like it is about to start. Let's just quickly remind the fans that we are facing Celta de Vigo tonight. The team traveled this morning. We had a training session yesterday, second game, and I heard Ronald Koeman say rotations. This is just the second game. Why do we need rotations, like changes in the lineup so early on? So are we expecting, or do you expect, Diego, that Barca will come out with a similar lineup to the other day?
I do. I mean, you talk about Ronald Koeman. I heard him also talk about the need for not rotating too much. It's just a second game. So I'm expecting very much a similar lineup for that matter, and probably similar substitutions. I think right now, you know, seeing as the preseason was so short, so condensed, if things, of course, go according to plan, it will allow Koeman to still make some substitutions in the second half. But I think that initial starting 11, he's got a pretty clear idea of who he likes to see there.
Yeah, definitely. And let's also remind the fans, as we can see on screen, that as of 8:30 local time, we will start our Barca Live show with an exclusive interview with Serginho Dest, our newest addition, the right fullback coming from Ajax, at 9:30 local time, the match center. Live commentary. We won't be showing the game, guys. We won't be showing the game, but we will be giving you commentary and entertainment, letting you know everything that's happening on the pitch. And as of the final whistle, we'll be on Barca TV Plus, showing you the highlights of the game, giving you all the analysis, giving you all the reactions from, well, Ronald Koeman, from the players, and our little analysis, and hopefully celebrating a win.
I think so. I think there will be a lot to talk about. I mean, every match so far has been fascinating. Fascinating to see how Koeman is putting this team together. I think in record time as well. It's been an interesting case game by game. I mean, I think this match against Villarreal really allowed us, or really confirmed rather, the good feelings that we had from the short preseason, and let's hope that this feeling can continue against Celta. A Celta side as well that will that is not easy. I mean,
not easy at all. Well,
last
I mean,
season, the way.
Well, I mean, we haven't won there since 2015.
Wow.
So we need to break that bad run.
Exactly.
At some point, we need to break it.
Exactly. And they took vital points away from us, of course, in La Banca Bailados last season as well. So Celta, not a side to be taken lightly. And although Oscar Garcia is still, relying heavily on the goals of Iago Aspas, again, they're just a tough side whenever they face Barça.
Yeah. Okay, the group stage is about to start.
All right, here we go.
I believe we're going to get the teams from pot 1 drawn first into groups A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
Yeah.
There's my alphabet. I mean, I struggled for a moment there. I mean, between F and G, I struggled a little bit. But anyway, yes. So the teams from pot 1 will be distributed, and then we'll go to pot 2, pot 3, pot 4.
That's right.
So shall we bring back our predictions?
Okay.
First, Diego, just to remind the fans and to invite them to send in their predictions for this group stage. Diego, what did you have?
So again, I had Paris Saint-Germain, Leipzig, and Brugge, or Bruges, as you so elegantly said. I pronounced it the Dutch way, but that's who I think that Barça will get in the group, yeah.
I had Liverpool, Lazio, and Borussia Mönchengladbach. That would be an interesting group.
That would be. That would be
a very interesting group. Barca can face, of course, let me get it on my cards here. We can face from pot 1, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Juventus, Paris Saint-Germain, Zenit St. Petersburg, and Porto. I'm trying to figure out what,
I think what
exactly is going on.
Robert, I was going to interrupt you because I was going, man, this is going fast. They started to pop Dortmund, Bayern.
I just think that they're showing everyone how it's going to work, but they're confusing me at the moment. So
I mean, just to go back to the group, what do you think is a possible worst case scenario? So I actually also put on paper a worst case or best case scenario in case you're interested.
Okay,
in hearing that.
Go.
So I thought the worst case scenario will be if we face Bayern Munich, Inter de Milan, and Olympique de Marseille. Bayern for obvious reasons. I don't think we need to rehash the past. Once again, let's get over that. Yeah. Inter Milan with the likes of Lautaro Martinez, Lukaku, and of course Arturo Vidal.
Arturo Vidal, of course,
is now moved there as well. And Olympique de Marseille. Always
out of pot 4, I would say they're the biggest threat. Yes.
Yeah.
I was also pointing out earlier on another worst case scenario in which we face Zenit St. Petersburg from pot 1. Dynamo Kiev from pot 3. And then we wouldn't be able to face Lokomotiv because they would also be from Russia, but maybe Ferencváros from Hungary. 3 cold countries in this final, in October, November, December. And that is definitely what coaches don't like either. And the players don't like it either.
No,
I mean, going to play in those cold countries in October, November, December is a no-no.
It's a no-no because, also the pitch usually is kind of in questionable state as well. It's not a place that, the elite players like to go and play. Absolutely not. No.
Okay, I think that now this is about to start. We're being shown on screen the teams from pot 1. That is Bayern Munich, Sevilla, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Juventus, Paris Saint-Germain, Zenit St. Petersburg, and Porto. Let's remind the fans that we cannot face, of course, Sevilla or Real Madrid because they are in the same league as us.
Correct.
And I, for one, don't want to face Bayern Munich. Not yet.
No,
not yet.
No.
I mean, obviously, it would be nice to get revenge at some point. Just not yet.
You know what, though? Listen, if we do face them, Robert, let's say we do face them, I do think that we can face them with more optimism this season. Seeing the way that Ansu Fati has started this season, I mean, he has filled my hopes with joy or just filled me with optimism. So I would like to see, if that happens, Ansu Fati face a juggernaut that likes of Bayern and see how we fare, really. Because in the groups, it's the group stage.
Yeah.
The first 2 qualify. You have to fancy our chances always to qualify. I don't know the exact number, but Barça's qualifying rate over this past few seasons, I mean, we've qualified for the next stage.
Well, as I was saying, as first in the group for 13 consecutive times.
Exactly.
So that will be looking to extend that run.
Right.
And I think we've always qualified from the group stage since the 2000-2001 season.
Right.
So in the last 20 years, more or less, we've always qualified whenever we've been in the Champions League.
Exactly.
Didier Drogba is about to draw the first team into the first group.
Didier.
So there he is.
Didier, I didn't know he got rid of his hair.
Yeah, he got rid of his hair.
Good, Didier.
Fans can't see it, of course, but look, the first team drawn is the reigning champion.
Here we go.
Bayern Munich, so we're going to see where they fall into. I don't know if they automatically go into Group A or if now they get put into a group. I think they get put into a... No, they do. Okay, all right.
That's what they were explaining before, Robert.
All right.
I missed that as well.
Okay. Well, we didn't have any volume, so yeah. All right, so Bayern Munich are going to be in Group A. The second team drawn by Didier Drogba, the Chelsea legend, and Olympique Marseille as well.
Yeah.
A team that we could potentially face. is Real Madrid.
All right.
So we will not be in Group B.
Yeah.
We will not be in Group B. Let me just remind the fans as well that we'll know our opponents now, but we won't know exact schedules till later on because that gets done by a computer, and we won't know until...
right, but we know the games fall between...
Exactly,
October.
the 20th and 21st. 20th and 21st of October is the Champions League debut, so mark that on your calendars. It's either Tuesday the 20th or Wednesday the 21st that we'll be making our debut in the Champions League.
Correct.
Porto in Group C.
Porto.
Write all of this down.
Top of the NOS League at the moment.
And always bring out interesting players.
They do.
Porto are one of those teams, they're a bit like Ajax.
Yeah.
They build these great teams, they bring out good players, and then they get stripped by some of the other bigger teams.
I think that's a fair comparison.
Yeah.
Right, two games in so far, they've already scored 8 goals in the NOS League. So
Liverpool Group D. So if I was to get my prediction right, we would be in Group D. But I mean, that's only a prediction. Don't take me by word or anything.
You want to be drawn with Liverpool. I can sense...
it would be exciting. It would be exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, here we go with Group E. Hopefully this will get a little bit more exciting once we know that Barça is drawn into a group and see who we want to get. Sevilla. Group E. So
Fantastic
we've still got Paris Saint-Germain, Juve and Zenit left to be drawn into Groups F, G and H.
Right.
We will not obviously be in Group E because Sevilla are in La Liga.
Exactly.
Sevilla are our opponents next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
In a big game at Camp Nou.
I mean, the upcoming schedule for Barça is tough.
Yeah.
Very tough.
Zenit in Group F. Yes, we can remind the fans about that schedule while the rest of the teams are being drawn into groups. Sevilla on Sunday, then an international break, so we don't have La Liga for 2 weeks.
And then we come back with a bang.
We come back with, well, Eibar, I believe, Champions League, Clásico. Wow.
I forgot Eibar there. I actually thought we came back with the Clásico. Yeah.
You think about the Clásico, and then you forget the games before that.
Yeah.
But we have a Champions League debut, and we have a game away against Eibar, who haven't had the best of starts, but that's always a tough ground to go. The smallest ground in La Liga.
In Europe even, for that matter. I mean, of the big competitions, yeah.
So Juve went into Group G, and Paris Saint-Germain went into Group H. Diego, you had Barça face...
in Group H, face
Group H, PSG.
Interesting start to their season as well. Not the best for that matter. Losing to Lens, I think it was, and Olympique de Marseille, of course.
And, well, I think it was a tough blow for them, what happened in the final.
Yeah, and they started their league so quickly after that to resume pretty much.
Exactly. They didn't have any time to digest that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we saw how impacted Neymar was. Of course, he was in tears after losing that final. And, I mean, they're going to be playing this Champions League with a chip on their shoulders, I imagine. Really desperate to win. So
in between pots, we get the picks of best defender of the year for both the men's competition and the women's competition. Barca don't have any representatives in those categories. But... oh, there they are. Joshua Kimmich, well-deserved from Bayern Munich.
What a season. And
Bernard from PSG in the women's category.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them, obviously. We wish we could get Barca players back into those awards because, I mean, we dominated just a few years back.
Yeah. Well, for years and years, Barça had their players up for the awards and in the ideal 11 as well. The important thing is to be competing, of course, for these trophies, or for the big trophy, rather. I think the individual trophies, we know from the players themselves, they say, well, it's a nice plus, but the collective trophy is really the aim. And once you achieve the collective trophy, that's when the individual trophy comes into play. So hopefully this Champions League campaign can be a lot better for us and allow our players also to aspire to win these types of trophies, of course.
I misspoke. I have to apologize. It's Wendy Renard from... Olympique Lyon, I believe I said PSG.
Oh, okay.
I believe I said PSG, so apologies there.
Yeah.
We've got a video of her speech now, and Joshua Kimmich from Bayern Munich. Okay, so next up will be the Pot B, and Barca can go either into Group A, C, D, F, G or H. We will not be going into Groups B or E because Real Madrid and Sevilla
are in
there, and well, I mean, I was saying before, we've lost the privilege of being the top seed of the group. Let's hope that next year things have happened that will allow us to be in that pot one again.
Yeah.
And you were saying before, Diego, the signs make me optimistic at the moment. I mean, it was a great start. Ansu Fati, a recovered Coutinho as well, coming back from his season at Bayern Munich.
Yep.
Lionel Messi coming back and wanting to lead the team as captain.
Yeah.
I would like to see Antoine Griezmann get goals and get confidence and all that. And this new system by Ronald Koeman, which is a change compared to everything we've seen up until now over the last few years.
Yeah, and I mean, the good thing as well, Robert, I think, is that the new additions to the team allow there to be just heavy competition amongst the players as well, which I think will benefit Griezmann as well, because we've seen Trincao play in that position on the right, and he's played really, really well. Yes. I mean, we've seen the minutes that he's gotten. He's really known how to take advantage of those minutes and showcase just his good style of football, his excellent talent. Tactically, I think he'll be a player that will be to Koeman's liking, and we'll see him in action a lot.
Well, at the moment, we're at that point in the season in which all of us, fans included, are excited to see the new players, how they get on. Are they going to be the key player this season, the best signing of the season? Who's it going to be? Are they going to get involved? Are they going to get minutes? Are they going to be important?
Yeah.
Trincao, Pedri, Pjanic, now Dest as well.
Yeah.
They all look very promising.
Yeah, no, they really do. And you mentioned the name Pedri, another, of course, young teenager that came to this club just full of excitement. Culé. Since birth, I mean, I believe it was his grandfather originally that set up the Peña over in the Canary Islands, of course, and he just instantly, or Koeman rather, instantly fell in love with the youngster. So I think we can count also on him getting plenty of opportunities to showcase his skills.
And I think for these players, it's very important that we've kept the 5 substitution rule.
Right, yeah, more absolutely.
Because it will give them more opportunities, definitely.
Of course, of course. I mean, 5 substitutions will allow a lot more allow for a lot more rotations to take place, therefore more opportunities for the players on the bench.
I would definitely keep that rule. I would definitely keep that rule. It allows you to go deep into your squad. I always thought that it was very unfair that you can put 18 players into a game squad, but can only use up to 14. So I never saw the point of not being able to go deep into your bench and make some more substitutions.
So I was quite hesitant at first, Robert, because of when I heard our previous coach, Quique Setién, talk about how this could be potentially disadvantaged because his tactics, or Barça's tactics in general, of course, is to tire a team out and to take advantage of those later minutes in the game, where now, of course, the opposition can, substitute more
Bring in fresh legs.
Yeah. But that's also the case for us, for that matter. And now with these youngsters on the bench, well, it's a definite plus for sure.
No, definitely. I'm all in favour of that. I'm in favour of more rule changes. We won't go into it because this is the Champions League draw. We're waiting for Barca to be drawn from pot 2 into a group where we may face Bayern Munich, Porto, Liverpool, Sevilla. No, not Sevilla. Sorry, Zenit, Juventus, or PSG. At the moment, we've got Joshua Kimmich from Bayern Munich talking as Champions League best defender of last season. We hope that next season we can get one of our defenders to be best defender.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Whether it be Dest or whether it be Piqué, Longley, Jordi Alba, I think we got a good shot. I mean, I like the way our defensive shape is shaping up as well.
I was talking about this the other day. We talk a lot about Ansu and the goals and all that. Let's talk about, we were facing Gerard Moreno, Paco Alcácer, one of the best striking duos in La Liga. Let's talk about that clean sheet as well.
Yes, I'm happy you mentioned this. I mean, I feel that was not talked enough about. The fact that we managed to beat a direct rival at the end of the day. I mean, let's not forget that this Villarreal side, more than ever, will be competing for Champions League spots. So they are a direct rival. The fact that we managed to annihilate their offense.
They barely created any chances.
There was nothing there.
I don't think Gerard Moreno had a shot on goal. I don't think Alcácer had a shot on goal. The saves that Neto had to make were in the second half when we were already 4-0 up.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Villarreal's attacking duo were a non-factor during the whole game, really.
Yeah, and you know that the strikers would have been motivated. Alcácer facing his previous team, Gerard Moreno, we know
Former
about his
Espanyol,
history.
yeah.
Exactly. So you know that they would have been playing as well with high motivation and a chip on their shoulder to prove something to Barça, but they were a non-factor, really.
No, and definitely a positive game for Neto as well, keeping a clean sheet in the absence of Ter Stegen, who's still recovering from his knee injury, so he won't be playing tonight as well.
And Longley, who keeps impressing.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, the
Okay,
Stella
I think we're moving on to pot 2. We've got footage of Football Club Barcelona
There we go. That's what I
right
wanna
now
see.
on our screens. Atletico de Madrid as well. Let me go through the teams from pot 2. That's Barça, Atletico de Madrid. Manchester City will be avoiding them. Manchester United will be avoiding them as well. Shakhtar Donetsk, Borussia Dortmund, Chelsea and Ajax. Very happy that we're not facing City, United or Chelsea.
I agree 100% with you, Robert.
We'll see which groups they are drawn into. We faced Borussia last season as well, and they're always a tough team, especially in Germany.
My goodness, I mean, those games last season against Borussia were games where we were sitting on the edge of our seats.
And we faced them when they didn't even have their top striker, Haaland, now.
Exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. Good thing that we'll be able to avoid the German team. Because, yeah, I mean, with Haaland, they're just a terrific prospect, and they can do some damage in this tournament for sure.
Okay, we're going to see where Barca are going to be drawn into what group. Didier Drogba will be revealing that to us in just a few seconds. Let's see from pot 2 which teams go into which group.
Here we go.
Okay, here we go. This is the first ball that is being drawn out of pot 2. And the first team is, drum roll please, Atletico de Madrid.
Okay, wow.
Okay.
Well,
so
they've got some good history facing Bayern as well.
Atletico de Madrid cannot go into groups B or E.
Oh wait, so they do get? I thought they automatically go to A now.
No,
they get pulled for the group.
now
Okay.
you exactly. Now is the pick into which group they go. So Atletico will face.
That's it.
Bayern Munich.
It is. Yeah.
You were just mentioning
I
that.
was just mentioning that. Yeah.
Okay. So we won't be facing Bayern Munich.
We won't be facing Bayern, but Luis Suarez will.
Indeed.
So I imagine that he'll be pretty excited for that game to get his own revenge, for that matter.
Yes. Okay. So the second team is Chelsea.
Okay.
Chelsea cannot go into Group D because they would, well, they can't face Liverpool.
Right.
And they will be drawn either against Sevilla, Zenit, Juve, or PSG. Not sure
I could see them
what
being
the wait
drawn
is all about.
against Sevilla. Chelsea Sevilla would be interesting.
Well, Chelsea have made some interesting signings this season. Timo Werner. And
They've been quietly just
rebuilding,
taking care of business, during the transfer market.
So
absolutely.
let's see who Chelsea will face. It is being revealed in 3, 2, 1. Sevilla. Diego.
I'm on a roll here.
You said it. You said Bayern Atletico. You said Sevilla. Sevilla Chelsea. Okay, so if we have to take you for your word, we're facing PSG because that was your prediction.
Yeah, oh my goodness. I don't know if I like my prediction now, Robert.
Okay.
Let's see what's next.
Third team.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness.
This is what we're here for. Football Club Barcelona.
It's got to be.
We'll be knowing in about half a minute who we're going to be facing in the Champions League group stage, or
So
which team from pot 1. So the options are Porto, Zenit, Juve, and PSG.
Well, let's hope for some Zenit, but I fear I might be right again. And we will.
So
face
your prediction was PSG. My prediction was Liverpool. And our opponent will be Juve.
Oh, go.
Okay. Ooh,
okay.
interesting.
Very interesting, that.
Very interesting.
Very, very interesting indeed.
All right,
So
so
much
now
history
once this is done, we have something to talk. Well, we have plenty to talk about.
So much history there.
So much history. Wow. I'm excited about this already.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're facing Juve in the Champions League group stage. Ajax is the next team that is drawn. And I believe they can go into any group.
They'll be facing Madrid, right?
Ajax Madrid?
Yeah.
And
They'll be
knock them
facing
out
Real
again?
Madrid. Huh?
And knock them out again?
In the group stage? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, so Ajax, you can see on our screens right now that we are going to be in Group G and we'll be facing Juve. We're still yet to know which team from pot 3 and which team from pot 4. Right now, Ajax is going to be drawn into the group of Liverpool.
Yeah.
Ajax into the group of Liverpool. So we still need a team for Group B with Real Madrid, a team for Group C with Porto, a team for Group F with Zenit, and a team for Group H with PSG. The following team drawn from Pot 2 is Shakhtar Donetsk.
Shakhtar, okay.
Always an uncomfortable team, Shakhtar.
It is, it is. Again, though, I feel that these sides, I mean, the fan factor counts almost more for these sides because they are such passionate fans. They really get behind their teams, and the fact that they don't have the fans in the stadiums, well, I guess the intimidation factor is kind of lost for them.
The cold factor does not get taken away, and you know who will be facing that cold factor? Real Madrid.
Yes.
Real Madrid against Shakhtar. As I say, always very uncomfortable. I never liked it when we get drawn against Shakhtar.
Yeah, yeah.
They're a very gritty team normally.
They're very gritty, yeah, absolutely.
Borussia Dortmund is the next team, and I believe they can face Porto, Zenit, and PSG without any problems.
Okay.
So, we've still got Borussia, we've still got Manchester United and Manchester City. They haven't been drawn. So, Porto will be facing from Group F, Zenit. Zenit Porto. I believe that's happened in a previous year. Those two teams, that sounds very familiar.
It does sound familiar.
It sounds very familiar.
Yeah,
I don't know it off the top of my head, but I believe Zenit and Porto have faced each other in a previous Champions League edition.
Good draw for Dortmund, I would say, so far, because, I mean, we talk about the cold factor. It's not something that the Germans will be fearing, let's say, as we're seeing Man U now being drawn.
Man U are now being drawn, and it says they can only be drawn into Group H. I'm not sure why that is. So if that is true, what they've told us on screen, Manchester United, sorry, would face Paris Saint-Germain.
That's a good pairing.
That's a very good pairing, and that would leave Pep Guardiola's Manchester City facing Porto in Group C.
Interesting, yeah. Why?
I'm not sure why that is. Not really sure, but anyway, that's how it's going to be.
Okay. Well, so far, massive ties.
Yes.
In the case of Barça.
Let's talk about Barca's tie. Let's talk about Barca's tie. We are facing Juve in the group stage. There's lots to talk about. First of all, Miralem Pjanic going back to his old home. Artur coming back here.
Exactly.
Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Of course.
That rivalry is still ongoing.
Yeah, well, good, good, good. I mean, I think, if anything, Messi will be licking his chops because he's been quite open about the fact that Ronaldo leaving La Liga was a little bit of a sore spot for me. He likes having that competition with the world's best. And, of course, Ronaldo factors into that equation. So what better stage to face each other than in the group stage, which has, in Spanish, as they say, so much morbo, right? Yeah. So many subplots. Actually, even blanked on the Pjanic and Artur.
Yes, exactly.
That is, I mean,
exactly. No. It'll be interesting in that sense. Just right now, best midfielders for the women's and the men's UEFA Champions League edition of 2019-2020 are being awarded.
Yes.
It's Marajan from Olympique Lyon for the women's category, and Kevin De Bruyne from Manchester City for the men's category, best midfielder of the year.
Okay. A little bit surprised by that.
I'm very surprised because it's not De Bruyne is not a player who made the final.
No.
But I just have a sweet spot for him.
I mean, he's a player, I think, to all of our liking. I just thought because he was facing. Who were up for the trophy? Do you have that on?
I'm not sure right now. I don't have that information with me. But still, if I'm being told that Kevin De Bruyne is one of the best midfielders in the world, I agree. I agree. I mean, I like our midfielders, and I wish we could sign De Bruyne as well. Yeah. But let's move back to what interests us, because we're facing the champions from Italy.
Yes.
Most dominating side in Serie A, quality players. They've kind of rebuilt as well, with some older players leaving and rejuvenating. And, well, the Cristiano factor is just... we'll have to be extra careful with him, because maybe he's not as explosive as he used to be. He's still a top-class finisher.
Absolutely. And, I mean, you talk about dominating the Serie A. Of course, the trophy that they so desperately want is the Champions League, is the competition that all the Juventus fans will have their eyes set on. I mean, their star-struck squad with the likes of Dybala, Ronaldo in there, and offensively they're a powerhouse, but particularly also defensively, of course, with the likes of De Ligt.
Yes,
they're
exactly.
They're very, very hard to crack.
I'm trying to think who knocked them out of last season's Champions League, and
I was going to say Ajax, but that was before.
I cannot remember this. So maybe if Amy, our producer inside, can give us that information. Who knocked Juve out last season? Neither of us can.
This should be.
I seem to remember them facing Atletico Madrid, but that was 2 seasons ago, I think. I'm failing to remember. We've got speeches of the best midfielders.
Oh, I know. I remember. It was Lyon.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Olympique Lyon.
I'm
exactly.
right? Yeah, I think so.
There you go. Olympique Lyon, and it was a big surprise. Exactly.
It was a big surprise.
It was in the quarterfinals. The first game was played with fans. The second game was played without fans.
Yes.
Controversial penalties as well. Now I'm starting to remember all of this. Two very controversial penalties.
In fact, I mean, and it was such a massive achievement for Lyon. Of course, the French league not having, or one of the only big leagues that didn't restart.
Yeah.
It was the first game as well back for all of those players, and for them to knock out Juventus was just a massive achievement.
The fact that we have Juve in the group rules out 3 teams from pot 3. That means we will not be facing Inter, Lazio, or Atalanta. You said that you didn't want to face either Inter or Atalanta.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Very pleased that we can
rule them out.
Not play the likes of Atalanta, Inter as well, for that matter, with Lautaro, return of Arturo Vidal. Not something that I would have liked, but in particular Atalanta. I mean, we saw them last season in Champions League as well. Could we call them the surprise team of last season's edition?
Them and Leipzig.
Them and Leipzig, of course. Yeah.
I feel like Leipzig were very unfortunate not to be able to play their best striker in the final stages of the Champions League, because that could have been a difference maker.
No, for sure. But I mean, with regards to Juventus as well, just some memories that are flowing back. Of course, the Champions League final, winning that Champions League final in 2015 brings back so many good memories. But there's been so many back and forths as well. I remember years ago when it seemed that we finally were going to reach the finals. We played the semi-finals against Juventus, and at the end
2002, 2003. Don't even remind me of that, Diego. I was at the stadium.
Oh, you were there?
I was there.
Oh,
I was there in extra time. Zalayeta, that name will always stick with me. Zalayeta, because he scored in extra time. We drew 1-1 in Turin. Then it was 1-1 at Camp Nou as well with a Xavi goal, and then in extra time they scored more or less on the counter-attack across inside the... Oh, I can just see it right now, and it's a nightmare. I was behind that goal.
Oh, wow.
And no. Nightmarish. We got our revenge in 2015, as you say. We beat them in the final. Yeah. And then we faced them just recently in the 2017-2018 group stage, and we beat them 3-0 at Camp Nou.
Yeah.
So...
I think, though, I mean, and tell me if I'm going overboard here, but I feel like let's say the fear factor that Juventus had in previous seasons when they knocked us out as well, after, of course, that heroic comeback against PSG, when our morale was boosted and it was up in the air. We then had to face Juventus, a very tough side, and I feel like that is presently not there with this team.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Still a strong side, obviously, the Serie A champions. And going back to what you were saying, if we'd have gotten another strong team, maybe say Liverpool, Bayern Munich and all that, and then on top of that you get Lazio or Inter or Atalanta, it makes the group so much more complicated. Now you're facing a top team in Juve, but you've ruled out 3 superb teams. And now we can face from pot 3 either Dynamo Kiev, Salzburg, Leipzig, Olympiakos, or Lokomotiv Kuban Krasnodar.
Exactly.
I would not like to go to Russia. Or, well, I won't be going to Russia, but the team would be going to Russia. Or Ukraine. Should we just go for Salzburg or Leipzig, maybe?
I don't want to go to Germany and face Leipzig. I'll go to Salzburg with you.
Salzburg?
Yes.
Nice city. Nice city. All right. No.
Red Bull is close to there, right?
Where do I sign? Salzburg, I think, would be the preferred destination for Barca from teams in pot 3.
Absolutely.
Maybe Olympiakos as well, because Olympiakos...
Again.
again, I know where you're going. Without fans, that stadium, well, you lose the fear factor.
You do, and it accounts for a lot. There's a stat that I like to keep bringing up and reiterate from time to time, but there was an Opta stat that I came across last season when the league restarted, and they had been basically measuring the hormones or the hormone level of players without the without the fans, and there was a significant drop in hormones level, of course.
Well, adrenaline and all that. I mean,
everything. Yeah.
No, definitely. I had an interview with the referee as well that says that not having the fans there means they have to bring a lot more in terms of concentration.
Yeah.
Because the fans keep them on their heels.
Exactly.
And anyway,
yeah.
they're getting used to it now because it's been so long. Pot 3 is being drawn finally. Let's see. The first team is a potential opponent for Barça.
All right.
Krasnodar, FC Krasnodar.
Yep.
So
of course, I think that Russian and Ukrainian teams can also not be grouped together.
Okay. So this is a potential opponent for us, and we'll see if we do get drawn against them. FC Krasnodar from Russia. Very cold in October, November and December.
It is, but now with global warmings, you get strange
I think
days.
it's still very. I think it's still very cold there. I think it's still very cold there. Okay, so Krasnodar will be in Group E with Sevilla and Chelsea. So, Diego, we're not going to Russia.
Okay.
At least not to Krasnodar. We could still potentially go to Moscow and face Lokomotiv.
Okay. All right.
In Pot 4.
Right.
Second team from Pot 3 being drawn right now. Could it be a team that goes into Barca's group with Juve as well? Leipzig, it could be.
Please no.
Diego,
Remember,
you don't want
Leipzig.
Leipzig.
One of my predictions.
It was in your prediction, but
Yeah.
you don't want Leipzig.
I don't. I mean, seeing the way that dismantled Cholo Simeone's side last season struck fear in my heart, Robert. I did not like that.
They have lost their one of their main players in Timo Werner.
Of course. I mean, Timo now moving to Chelsea was massive for them, but still, I feel that they have a solid enough side to still cause some damage and make life uncomfortable. So if we can avoid them, I'll be happy.
We'll know in just 1, 2, 3 seconds. They've gone into Group H with PSG and Man United. That is one interesting group.
Wow. I mean,
that is
right
one
now
interesting group.
looks like the group of death, the famous group of death.
Yeah.
That would be one of them.
If you put Marseille... Oh, no, you can't put Marseille into that because they're PSG.
PSG. Oh, imagine if they did.
With everything that went on. All right, so Atalanta not going to our group.
Face them, yeah.
We will not be facing Atalanta, so we'll see where they go. As Diego was saying, one of the surprise teams from last season played some excellent football. Very different football from what you think of when you think of Italian football.
I mean, they're just such an offensive powerhouse. Again, I just mentioned it before, between the preseason friendlies and how they started Serie A, they played 5 games, 19 goals.
Yeah.
Close to four goals per game. So they've picked up where they left off, let's say.
Atalanta is going into Group D with Liverpool and Ajax.
Wow. That's a good group.
That's an interesting group. That's a group.
I mean, these are all going to be games that I'm going to definitely be watching and tuning into.
I'm just wondering what Ajax will be able to do this season with so many of their players, of their big players over the last 2 seasons gone.
Yeah. But, you know, I have a faith in their board of directors as well. They seem to be really not just, you know, selling well, but also acquiring good players. Yeah. The youth system is obviously still there. Dest has been there for, I think, 8 years or something. He went to the club when he was 11, 12 years old. So the youth, you know, the youth system in Ajax is getting to what it used to be.
They do a great job. Yeah. Okay, so Olympiakos has been drawn, and they could potentially be an opponent for Barca. Let's have a look and see. Olympiakos will go into Group C with Porto and Manchester City.
Okay. If you're Pep Guardiola right now, you'll be pretty happy, I would say.
I would say so. Taking into account the potential opponents they could have had.
Yeah.
So we can still face Salzburg, and we can still face Dynamo Kiev.
Okay.
Dynamo Kiev is the team that has been drawn. That's a potential opponent for Barça.
Okay, okay.
Going into the cold Ukraine. I think
Kiev played a friendly. Where did I see Kiev? Shevchenko is the coach there now, right? Or
I believe he is. I believe he is. I believe he is.
No. He's the coach of Ukraine, the national team.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it was against Spain. That's why I was recently saw him in the suit. Let's see who they're drawn against.
They have been drawn again. Oh, they've been drawn in group. Sorry, we missed that. They've been put into Barca's group. They've been put into Barca's group. So we're going to Kiev.
All right.
Some unhappy memories from Kiev in group stages. 1997,
That's
1998.
Exactly.
Shevchenko.
With Shevchenko, yeah, exactly.
When he was a player.
Yes.
So
what a player he was as well.
Oh, he was such a good player, and then went to Milan.
They haven't produced a player like Shevchenko since then, I would say.
Not since then, no. Very hard. Salzburg have been put into a group with Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid. And the remaining team... Oh, no, there are two remaining teams still. Is Inter Milan.
Of course, okay.
They could be going into Group B with Real Madrid and Shakhtar, or Group F with Zenit or Porto. The other team is Lazio. Inter Milan have gone automatically into Group B.
Yeah,
I'm not understanding. I believe it's because we don't have any volume, and I'm not understanding why some of the teams go automatically into those groups. But anyway.
Yeah, we're missing something here. Maybe when it comes down to the last two, they just... And Lazio there.
Obviously, it must be combinations of teams that can't face teams from other countries or something. I'm not sure at all. Yeah. But anyway, Lazio's gone into Group F.
Okay.
Zenit and Porto. So let's talk about Barça here again. Juve, Barça, Dynamo Kiev, Group G.
I like it. I like it. You know you're going to have to face these teams where you're going to have to travel, you're going to have to go to cold places. It's a
I think right now it's shaping up to be a classic. The sum of cold plus long distance. They don't like doing long flights as well. I mean, flying to Ukraine is a long trip.
Yeah. But it's again, it's the Champions League group stage that we're used to seeing year after year after year. You know you're going to have to play these kind of matches that are maybe uncomfortable for the players, but at the same time, you got to go there and get the job done. And I think I'd rather face a team like Kiev, for that matter, as opposed to, say, you know, your Atalantas, Olympique de Marseille, etc. So, you know, right now this group I think is shaping up to be just a classic Champions League group with two juggernauts that are Barça and Juve, of course. And I mean, I don't have it right in front of me in this minute, but looking at the competition that we still, or the teams that we can still face in our group.
Yeah, we'll go over that in a minute. We'll go over that in a minute. The awards for best striker of the women's and men's Champions League of last season have been given. Pernille Harder from Wolfsburg, and Robert Lewandowski from Bayern Munich.
Now, of course, she went to Chelsea.
And she went to Chelsea, of course, yeah. Before Wolfsburg, now Chelsea. The interview is now being done in a Chelsea outfit.
Yes. Chelsea also, the women's team.
Well, no, I mean, I was talking to our producer Amy about this before. The English league in general, bringing so many good players. Bring players from the US, players from Wolfsburg as well, and that league is getting so much better. Yeah.
I mean, their buying power is just on another level, really. It's hard to compete with that, of course, and you see it on all fronts. Chelsea, the men's team, have made some serious acquisitions, and we're seeing it with the women's team as well. Where you're seeing it on all fronts. They're economically, their league that is just very, very strong. But more merit to other leagues such as La Liga to be able to continue to compete with them.
Oh no, definitely.
Sevilla continuing to be dominant, of course, in the Europa League. That's why they're in this Champions League now once again, having beaten Manchester United.
You were talking before about, obviously you have to, these are things you have to do. You have to go on long trips, group stage, Kiev. I would not want to be going to Kiev on the first game of the group stage right before a Classico.
Would you prefer that or go to Turin and face Juventus, though?
2 top games in 1 week. It's been done before.
Robert,
I just don't want them to go and get tired and cold on Wednesday and then have to face Real Madrid on Saturday.
But maybe, I mean, think about the rotations.
Yeah.
You know, more different players could get minutes there. Players that maybe don't get the starting minutes could enjoy some minutes playing in Kiev. I don't know about. You know.
I mean, the thing is, we'll be coming off of an international break. We'll have the previous game against Eibar, which gives you a chance maybe to shuffle things around.
Right.
And then if you get 2 big games in 1 week, I think it's what the players want, really and truthfully. They want the competition. I mean, you'll get different opinions. You want the players to get rest during the week and then be fully focused on Real Madrid, or do you want 2 big games and the players to be fully engaged? I mean, there'll be opinions for everything.
Yeah.
I'd rather play Juve than Dynamo Kiev in Kiev in the week of El Clasico. If we're facing them here, no problem.
See, maybe I'm just a sucker for headlines, but those headlines or you know, that say Juventus and then El Clásico, those just, you know, again, give me heart palpitations. I think I prefer to read, you know, we're taking a trip over to Kiev, maybe get some more rotations in there. And again, I'm not saying that it'll be an easy game against Kiev, not whatsoever, but Juventus and then El Clásico, I think, you know, if we can just rest players and not have them play such intense minutes back to back, I would prefer that.
I would definitely like them to be playing both games at Camp Nou. Obviously, the Clásico is going to be played at Camp Nou, but the Champions League opener to be played at Camp Nou.
Yeah.
No travel in midweek.
Yeah.
And just get a week of good football.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, that would be the ideal scenario for sure.
That is, of course, the week of the 20th or 21st. We don't know yet. First game of the group stage, and then we'll be facing Real Madrid on that weekend. Right now, before we go to pot 4, Bayern Munich players are being interviewed. Robert Lewandowski, we've got Kimmich there as well, and Manuel Neuer, who was given the award for best goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Well deserved. They had an excellent Champions League. We won't go into what happened in the quarterfinals, but
we won't need to talk about that. But I mean, you know, there's no harm in giving credit where it is due, and what a job Flick has done ever since.
Exactly.
You know, he arrived at the club in the shortest amount of time. He managed to really turn that team around, and arrasar.
Bulldoze
the competition
exactly.
in all competitions, literally, as we're seeing here.
We're seeing a picture on our screens right now of Robert Lewandowski with the Champions League trophy in his bed. He kept that on the night they won it.
They must have a sweet night.
No, exactly. Full credit to them. Well deserved. But this year, we're going for it.
Absolutely.
We're coming for you. We're coming for you.
I mean, it's that esa copa tan linda, as Messi famously said in the
Gamper. It needs to come back to Barcelona at some point. I mean, it's where it belongs.
Absolutely. And while Messi's here, of course, as well. I mean, that's the motivation, right? I think the efforts will also be set in La Liga and all competitions, as always, as a club like Barcelona, Barça demands. But that Champions League, after having suffered some pretty traumatic defeats, I mean, it has to be in the top of the priority list. So, you know, I don't know how Koeman sees it, but I know from a fan perspective, that's what we want.
Oh, definitely. Well, we want to go for everything. I mean, there's the typical phrase, if you're Football Club Barcelona, you have to fight for every single trophy every single season. An interesting factor as well this season, especially with the group stage, is how tight the schedule is going to be.
Right.
Because the Champions League has started essentially a month later for Barca, and the league has started a month later for Barca. So it's all going to be squeezed in to the half of the month of October, November, December. And, I mean, we're going to get Champions League almost every week.
Wow, it's incredible. I mean, these calendars are so condensed at the moment. It was something that we had to get used to when the league was restarted and the Champions League as well. I think now we're sort of in that rhythm again, and we're getting used to this new schedule as well, where there was almost no break, very short pre-season, and bam, we're back into competitive football. These games are coming back to back to back, and that's why they kept this substitution rule as well. Yeah. I think I had interesting conversation with ex-Barça football player Andrea Orlandi about this a couple months ago now, and he was telling me how for him actually the most important factor for all teams for that matter are actually the fitness coaches, because it's up to them to keep the players at full fitness during this condensed schedule, and that really is a massive challenge.
Well, exactly. I mean, habits have to change, types of training. I mean, for Barca, you're kind of used to it, but smaller teams as well.
Yeah.
Especially that final run between June and July.
Yeah.
I mean, player minutes, rest, all of that, it became essential factors.
Yeah.
And we saw that happen with several teams.
Exactly. And what was interesting to see as well were just how good the French teams performed for that matter.
Yeah.
Where we all kind of were saying, they're going to have a massive disadvantage because, look, they're not playing competitive football. But then look how they played in the Champions League.
Yeah. Okay, so pot 4 is going to be drawn right now. We can face Lokomotiv Moscow. We can face Olympic Marseille, Bruges, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Istanbul, Midtjylland. I still don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Rennes and Ferencváros. Those are the 8 badges of the 8 teams that we can face in this group stage. It's going to be drawn right now.
Crossing fingers that we can avoid Marseille, but also Bruges.
All right, so the first team that Didier Drogba is going to draw is Olympique Marseille, one of the ones that you wanted to avoid, Diego. They could potentially fall into our group.
Yes.
And they've shown this season that, well, I mean, they've started off brilliantly.
Yeah, no, they have.
Paris Saint-Germain.
Beating Paris Saint-Germain, I mean, that's the game that all Marseille fans have marked on their calendar. It's Le Classique, as they call it in the Ligue 1. And they beat Paris Saint-Germain, and I've got far too many friends from Marseille to be comfortable with us drawing them. So please, let's not see them in our group.
Is that an F that I can see? No, it's a C, sorry.
Okay.
Why did I see an F there? It's Group C. They're going to go into the group with Porto, Man City, and Olympiakos.
Why is Malouda is keeping it a secret as well? You want some suspense?
Not sure if... maybe the timing wasn't correct. I mean,
right.
Maybe we were supposed to wait for something. Okay, so Group C is complete. It has Porto, Man City, Olympiakos, and Olympique Marseille. We're still waiting for an opponent for Barca to close out that group with Juve and Dynamo Kiev. Could it be Lokomotiv Moscow? I believe you were saying before we can't face them because you can't have teams from Ukraine and Russia in the same group.
Yeah.
It's very nice that they...
Politics.
Well, no. Just basically, they don't send us to 2 cold countries.
Oh, right. I thought you the politics factor. Yeah. That's probably why. Right?
That's probably why. Hey, they're going into Group A, Lokomotiv, with Bayern, Munich, Atletico Madrid, and Salzburg.
Mm-hmm.
So the clear favourites in that group would be Bayern and Atletico.
No doubt about that. Absolutely. No doubt about that. I think Cholo will be chuffed.
Third team from Group D, from pot 4, sorry, that's going to be drawn is Club Bruges, the club against which Andres Iniesta made his debut in 2002. Could they be our opponent? You had them in your prediction.
Yeah, I would rather not. I'd rather not. They
made things uncomfortable for Real Madrid last season.
They really do, and in fact, they did so for most of their opponents. They're not that I'm an avid follower of the Belgium league, not whatsoever. It just happened that I tuned into a chat with Axel Torres, and his prediction actually came true. They're a tremendous side, in particular offensively.
Well, they're not going into our group. They're going into Group F with Zenit, Porto, and Lazio. That group is complete. Group F, Zenit, Porto, Lazio, and Club Bruges. The following team that is going to be drawn, there are 5 remaining, is Istanbul.
Okay.
We could go to Istanbul.
Yeah. Again,
that's where the final's being hosted, right?
Yeah,
because they didn't host, they weren't able to host it last year.
So now
hopefully we'll. Well, I mean, it would be quite poetic to start off in Istanbul and end in Istanbul.
Okay, hey, I like that, Robert.
I like that arc. I like that arc. I want Istanbul in our group now. I want Istanbul in our group, and I want to start against them. I know I said I didn't want to travel, but
Turkey's not too far.
Yeah, Turkey's not too far.
Temperature's pretty nice. I like that storyline. That would be nice. That would be quite fitting, yeah.
Come on. Group G. No, they went into Group H. Istanbul with PSG, Man United, and Leipzig.
Okay.
Istanbul have fallen into
ouch.
Into an ouchy group.
Yeah.
Very ouchy.
So who does that leave, Robert?
That
I'm losing
leaves
count
right now. Sorry, I have them here. It leaves Mönchengladbach, Midtjylland, Rennes, and Ferencváros.
Okay.
Stade Rennais. They could be an opponent for us.
Yeah.
A team that's
Hey, listen.
surprising team.
Dembélé played for them, right?
He came from there. And surprisingly, they made it into the Champions League. We're more used to seeing teams like Monaco, for example. They didn't make it. So
That is surprising, isn't it? Wow.
hats off to them.
Yeah.
And who will they face? They can fall into 4 different groups. Could it be Barca's group? Stade Rennais.
I think it will
They're
be.
going into Group E.
Oh.
So they will be facing Sevilla, Chelsea, and Krasnodar.
All right. Oh, man. If you're Lopetegui and Lampard, you'll be pretty.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty
you'll be
pleased with
looking
this.
forward to that time facing each other.
Yeah.
The next team that is being drawn, 3 left, is Midtjylland from
let's go to Denmark.
Let's go to Denmark. I like Denmark.
Yeah,
I like
Denmark's good.
And
Denmark's
Michael Laudrup, of course.
Exactly.
One of our favorite Danish players of all time. We have
No
Martin
doubt about it.
Braithwaite now.
Yes. Oh, good point. Forgot about Martin there, but not too far. It's north of Europe. It gets cold. Wind factor, we got to take that into account, but it's not as bad as out east.
We're going to know where they're going.
Yeah.
They're going into Group D with Liverpool, Ajax, and Atalanta.
All right.
So I will not have to learn how to pronounce Midtjylland.
Midtjylland. I think they're pretty good.
Midtjylland.
Midtjylland. And not that I'm.
I don't know if the
expert
J
in
is
Danish.
J or Yay.
Yeah, I think.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Sort of D, sort of half silent. I would think. I don't know.
I don't know. But I won't have to learn for the group stage.
Right.
Borussia Mönchengladbach, I had them in my prediction. Can Ter Stegen go back home?
I guess so, huh?
Well, they're either going into Real Madrid's group or they're going into our group.
Oh no, they went straight to Group B.
They went straight into Group B, so Barca will face, which team is left? Ferencváros from Hungary.
Okay. All right. So we are going out east, my friend.
We're going out east twice.
That's your nightmare scenario there.
I did say that the nightmare scenario 1 was really tough teams.
Of course.
Nightmare scenario 2 was Zenit and these 2 teams.
Right.
Because of the cold
Exactly.
and the long travel.
Yeah.
All right.
You're not too happy with that, I imagine.
I'm not too happy about that. No, not at all. But anyway, it is what it is. One very tough team in Juve, Dynamo Kiev and Ferencváros. Tough outings, but I'm sure that Barca will, well, they'll have to deal with them if we want to get through and if we want to continue that run of making it through the group stage as first for 14 consecutive years now.
Yeah, listen, I think Ono Koeman will be looking at this rather pleased. I think that he will be able to showcase his offensive plan and will have to be ready, of course, for these teams to hit Barca on the counter-attack.
Yeah.
You can imagine that these teams will be sitting rather deep in defense. So, for you, it's a nightmare scenario. I'm quite pleased.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, because of the
your second
exactly my second night, just because of the long travel and the cold. Okay, shall we have a look at how the groups have been drawn? Let's have a look at Barca's group first. We have it on our screen, but we can have it on full screen. We have Juve, we have Barça. Oh no, I'm being told we don't have it. So I mean, we can still comment on all of that. We'll know later on. When we're facing these teams, what the schedule is going to be. The first game is going to be played either on the 20th or the 21st of October. That's in 2 weeks, more or less.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
two or three. I'm a bit lost. No, 2 or 3 weeks. Well, anyway, yeah, I think it's 2 weeks that the Champions League will start. We'll see if it's at Camp Nou. We'll see if it's in Italy, in Ukraine, or in Hungary. That is the week of El Clasico as well, as we've been saying throughout the show. The awards for Best Coach for both men and women's competition and for Best Player for both men and competition are going to be given as well. And let's remind the fans that we have Luis Cortés from the Barca women's team, our coach, as a nominee. So let's wish him the best of luck, and we'll know in just a few minutes if he wins that.
I mean, we talked about Flick and the impact he had on his team in such short time. But Luis Cortés, you mentioned, it just in 2 seasons, everything he has achieved with Barça Femení, and very impressive as well.
Okay. Well, the award for Women's Coach of the Year does not go to Luis Cortés.
Okay, yeah.
Does not go to Luis Cortés. Unfortunately, well, he'll have to fight for it next year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, these trophies are more often than not, of course, given to the winners. Vazieux?
Jean-Luc Vazieux. Jean-Luc Vazieux is the winner of the Women's Coach of the Year for 2019-2020. He's giving his speech right now. We can move on to have a look at how the groups have been drawn, what they look like, and I want, Diego, you to give me your predictions as well.
Okay.
We'll both give our predictions. Let's look at Barca's group first. We had it on our screens right now, but there are the 4. Crest, Juve, Barça, Dynamo Kiev, and Ferencváros. We're in Group G. Obviously, the 2 favorites are Barça and Juve.
There's absolutely no doubt about it, Robert. And I will go so far as to say that Barca will qualify first in this group as well.
Nice, I like the attitude.
Yes, yes. I'm optimistic ahead of this season, Robert. Ansu Fati's inspired me. Messi's words also recently have inspired me. In fact, this whole preseason and with the new talents that are coming in, I'm feeling very optimistic. I fancy your chances against Juventus and to finish top of the group.
Yep. Let's go to Group A. Group A has Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, Salzburg and Lokomotiv, the reigning champions against Cholo Simeone's side with the new addition of Luis Suarez. Very interesting. Salzburg, always one of these exciting teams. They've made it through, especially in Europa League. They've made it through to latter stages. And Lokomotiv, as I say, always uncomfortable because cold games. I'm not sure about how the lack of fans affects them. But surely Bayern Munich and Atletico will be able to deal with that.
I do think so. I mean, Atletico started off the season very well, dismantled, absolutely dismantled. Oh gosh, what was the 6-1?
Oh, Granada, sorry.
Thank you, Granada.
I wasn't following
a very tough Granada side, of course, as well. They were held to a 0-0 in their next match, but I mean, this Atletico does have a new feel to them.
Definitely.
Joao Felix is looking fresh. Luis Suarez, we don't need to say anything more than we already know. I mean, he's still a top-notch striker. So them and Bayern to qualify, first and second.
Let's have a look at Group B, the group of Real Madrid. They have Shakhtar Donetsk, they have Inter, and they have Borussia Mönchengladbach. And that is a very interesting group. For me, Real Madrid and Inter are the favourites to go through, but Shakhtar is always a very uncomfortable team.
Yeah. Again, it's not the Shakhtar that we had to face when Pep was here. I think, Shakhtar has gone through its ups and downs since then as well. But a team that is always consistently making the Champions League, whether they can make life difficult for the likes of Real Madrid
and Inter. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Let's go to Group C. The team from Pot 1 was Porto, but I'd say the top seed in that group is Manchester City. They'll be accompanied by Olympiakos and Olympique Marseille. And I can't make my mind up, Diego. I'm going to say City and Marseille.
So I'm happy you say that. I was going to say that actually as well. I think this could be one of those groups where we could see some surprises. We could see, Olympiakos and Marseille make life difficult, especially I think for Porto. Whether they can make it life difficult for City, that of course is to be seen. City has got that objective of winning the Champions League.
They've been chasing it for so many years. Let's have a look at Group D, the group of Liverpool. They have Ajax, Atalanta, and Midtjylland.
That's an exciting group as well.
And I'm going to go with the Italian team as well, Atalanta as well as Liverpool.
Over Ajax, huh?
Over Ajax, just because of what I said. Their team in 2 years has been dismantled. De Jong left, De Ligt left, Van de Beek, now Serginho Dest as well, and several other players. So I'm going to go with Atalanta and Liverpool.
I fear you might be right. I would root for my Dutch side, of course, normally to go through, but I think the changes are maybe a little bit too drastic to
Group E is the group of Sevilla. They have Chelsea, they have Krasnodar and Rennes. I believe here the top 2 seeds are the teams that are going through, Sevilla and Chelsea. Yeah.
Sevilla in the Champions League.
Sevilla are a stronger team, by the way, this season.
They are a stronger team. Of course, their history in the Champions League is not that of their history in the Europa League. Normally a team that succeeds much better in Europa League, but I think they will go through as well,
Group F is probably the weaker group. They have Zenit, Borussia Dortmund, Lazio, and Bruges. Very interesting group. I'm going to go with Borussia and Lazio.
I'll go with Borussia and Brugge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, all right. And Group H is the final group that we can look at. It's Paris Saint-Germain, United, Leipzig, and Istanbul. Diego, you were saying this is probably the group of death.
Group of death, where we're going to see PSG and Leipzig go through, and Man U go in the Europa League.
Okay, you're knocking Manchester United out. All right, we've had a look at all the groups, but let's not forget, later on, just, I'd say an hour and a half more or less, or no, a couple of hours. We have Filter against Barça, and in Vigo we have Georgina Leger, who's going to be there. We'll be talking to her as of 8:30 on Barça Live. Georgina, where are you? I can see a bus behind you. Are you going to the stadium? Are you there already?
We're currently outside the hotel where the players are just, I'm assuming, ending their siesta, as we say here in Spain, and before they go to the stadium, which will happen about 1 hour and a half before kickoff. For us, we're going to leave just when this connection is over, and yes, we've got the bus behind us. We came here by plane, but we always have a Barça bus ready where Barça is playing at.
Georgina, we have something very exciting happening today on Barça Live.
Yes, we do. Because you, Robert, will be interviewing our brand new signing, Serginho Dest. He will be joining us on Barça Live. So everyone, stay tuned to Barça's channels, to social media. And remember to follow us. Barça Live is kicking off 1 hour before proper kickoff. So 8:30, as you were saying, Central Europe time. What's it, in 2 hours? Yeah, a couple hours. And we'll be there. Yeah. Serginho Dest is joining. And we're waiting for you to join too.
No, we're very excited to talk with Barca's newest addition. And Georgina, just your thoughts on the group. Juve, Dynamo Kiev, Ferencváros, you're going to cold countries in this Champions League group stage.
Yes, we're traveling to the east of Europe. We'll see a familiar face in Italy. We'll be playing against Juve, where Arthur is now playing. Also, Miralem Pjanic going back to the stadium from his former team. So it's definitely an interesting group. I think the draw has been quite nice to us. I mean, I think we've got our chances to qualify for the next round, and hopefully trying to make it in the top spot of the group, so we can avoid like the other toppers of the rest of the groups.
All right, Georgina. Well, 8:30, we'll be talking to you live from Balaidos.
Yes.
Have a nice trip there, and we'll talk to you in a couple of hours.
Thank you. Yes, I'll see you there.
Bye, Georgina. Diego.
It's looking windy over there in the Abanca Balaidos.
Well, and nice jersey. I mean, Georgina wearing the second kit today.
Yes.
It's one that I love. Diego, final thoughts. Juve, Dynamo Kiev, and Ferencváros, the teams that we'll be facing in the Champions League group stage.
Again, just, optimistic in general. I think I agree with Georgina. The draw's been kind on us. Yes, we have to travel out east, your second nightmare scenario. I think, though, Koeman will be licking his chops and fancy his chances to kind of experiment, try to work that system the best way he can.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining me here. It's been an absolute pleasure to go through this Champions League draw with you, and hopefully Barca will be lucky enough to make it through as first in the group. We'll know that in the month of December. The Champions League is starting in a couple of weeks, the 20th or 21st. We still don't know the schedule. We'll let you know as soon as we do. We're leaving for now, but we'll be back in a couple of hours, 8:30 local time here, live on Barca Live with the warm-up from Balaidos. Barca are facing Celta, and join us, please, because we'll be interviewing Barca's newest signing, Serginho Dest. We're going for a little rest, and we'll be back in a couple of hours, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Barca TV Plus as well. All of Barca's social media outlets. Don't forget to follow them and subscribe as well. That's it. See you in a couple of hours for Celta against Barca. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.